Because every time someone asks a stupid question, we string them up from the rafters.
Did the Maker put us here only to suffer?
You're depressing to be around sometimes. You know that.
Here you've got a nice little setup at high time. Sounds pretty sweet.
Do you have coin to spare, Messer? My children are starving.
I hope this helps.
Thank you. Make a smile on you.
Looks like a fight! Be ready!
I'm fond of a little dirt now and then, but this? Was this really necessary?
Stay away from me.
Going to have to do some shopping upstairs pretty soon.
Turn up your purses, Girtwall. The leases of Javaris Tin Top are up for grabs. Told you I know all about our friend Javaris. Smugglers outside town.
I've been neglecting my patients lately. I should spend more time here. Have you noticed how many Tranquil are in the gallows courtyard lately? And don't tell me I'm just sensitive to it. I've been watching, and every day there are new Tranquil, selling their bloody wares. Good mages too. People I know pass their harrowing.
Doesn't Chantry law say that mages who pass their harrowing can't be made tranquil?
Exactly. The Templars are using the right of tranquility to silence those who speak against them. They're working on a deliberate plan to turn every mage in Kirkwall within the next 3 years.
Whatever you think of Templars, you can't imagine they're so heartless.
They're worse. There are groups in Kirkwall who help those fleeing the Circle. I've talked to people on the inside. The plan is the work of a Templar named Sir Ulrich. I've had a run-in with him myself. He's the one who did the ritual on Carl. Nasty piece of work. Likes to make mages beg.
What happened between you and Sir Ulrich?
I've been involved with an underground resistance. Mages living free in Kirkwall who help others escape. I can't tell you any more, for your sake and theirs. You have too much involvement with the Guard and nobility. Suffice it to say, I've been in the gallows. I've seen his work firsthand.
What else do you know about Sir Ulrich?
The Knight Commander is at least sincere in her convictions. However misguided, she believes she's helping people. Sir Ulrich's a sadist. Cold-blooded as a lizard. He likes to experiment on mages. Find out what it takes to push them into the arms of demons.
How do we stop them?
My friends in the Mage Underground know a way inside. A secret entrance under the walls of the gallows. Come with me tonight, please. Help me find the evidence of Sir Ulrich's Tranquil Solution.
What do you mean, Tranquil Solution?
That's what he calls it. His idea of a peaceful solution to the mage problem. To sunder the mind of every mage in the free marches. I'm told he's bringing his proposal to Val Royeaux, to the Divine herself. He would turn every mage in Thedas into a drooling simpleton under his command.
I wouldn't let you face this alone.
You are the one bright light in Kirkwall. I've always feared being made tranquil. Now, more than ever, I'm ready to go when you are. Our entrance is concealed not far from here.
So I hear you think mages should be free.
Everyone should be free, not just mages.
Not everyone's dangerous.
It's not about who's dangerous. It's about having choices made for you. Don't you wish you had the choice not to have lyrium stuck under your skin?
I do.
This is silly. I don't want to argue.
Do you want to guess what color my underclothes are again?
Oh yes, that's much more fun.
Are you the smith?
I'm a smith.
Is Smith your name or your profession?
Yep.
I'll be going now.
Smells like smoke, burning metal, and eons of misery.
Do not tell anyone about this way into the gallows. It's a secret that has saved the lives of hundreds of mages. This is it. This tunnel will take us into the gallows.
With any luck, we'll simply be mistaken for thieves and not conspirators.
Are you ready to help me find evidence of the Tranquil Solution?
Let's go.
It tells you something of Kirkwall's attitude. That they house their mages in an old slave prison.
Get ready!
Let's make this go any
Let's finish this!
I've got what you need right here. Good hit.
Lyrium smugglers built these tunnels to service the Templars who crave the stuff.
comes!
The Templars are despicable. They fear to fight us, so they destroy our minds instead.
Here we go!
No, please. I haven't done anything wrong.
That's a lie. What do we do to mages who lie?
I just wanted to see my mum. No one ever told her where they were taking me.
No, this is their place. We cannot...
So, you admit your attempted escape? You know what happens to mage girls who don't toe the line around here, don't you?
Please, no! Don't make me tranquil. I'll do anything.
That's right. Once you're tranquil, you'll do anything I ask.
Get your hands off her!
You fiends will never touch a mage again. They will die! I will have every last Templar for these abuses!
It's over, Anders. They're all dead.
Every Every one of them will feel justice's burn.
Get away from me, demon!
I am no demon. Are you one of them, that you would call me such?
Anders, that girl is a mage. We rescued her from being made tranquil.
She is theirs. I can feel their hold on her.
She's the reason you're fighting Anders. Don't turn on her now. Please, Messer.
Baker, no. I almost... If you weren't here... I need to get out of here.
You're such... slave driver.
You saved my life, Messer. What was that thing? Don't worry. It was all a trick by the Circle to scare you away from ever summoning demons. I wouldn't. I never... It was a joke. Can I go home now? Sir Ulrich is gone. You'll be safest in the Circle. Without Sir Ulrich. Maybe Bethany's right. The Circle isn't so bad. Thank you again, Messer.
Alone in the dark. And that's how we like it.
Used to work the docks.
Trash. Trash. Keep. Trash. Trash. Won't be needing that anymore.
You're upset. We need to talk about it.
Upset doesn't begin to cover it. You were the only thing that kept me from murdering an innocent girl. It's all gone wrong. Justice and I, we're just a monster. Same as any abomination.
So you're just going to stop? Let the Templars win?
Maybe they deserve to win. Maybe they're right. How can I fight for the freedom of mages, when I am the example of the worst that freedom brings?
Mages are dangerous. That's why this has been so hard. Make yourself the proof that they can control their powers.
I don't know how. How can I even trust myself to heal anymore? What if that creature of vengeance turns on a patient? Will I resist? Or will I loose his fury?
Maybe the Chantry can mediate this.
Did you find anything on Sir Ulrich? Or was the Tranquil Solution just another of my delusions?
It exists, but it was Sir Ulrich's plan, no one else's.
Let me see that. The Divine rejected the idea. Meredith rejected the idea. This was not what I expected. Perhaps I should try talking to the Grand Cleric. Maybe she's more reasonable than I thought. Thank you. I will think on what you've said.
No hope for us here.
I seem to recall you saying something a while ago.
Shut up.
I can control it. Wasn't that what you said?
So help me.
So I think a spring wedding would be lovely, don't you, Sister Kalinda?
It would be, I'm sure. But do you think it's wise to plan for a wedding when there isn't even a groom yet?
Details, details. I'll have you know my daughter has had a suitor come by the house twice now.
There are still many refugees that need help. We all must do it.
So, I never expected to be palling around with the captain of the guard.
We're not pals.
We're not? What about that time we painted each other's toenails?
Do you want something?
Love, life, and liberty. What more does a man need?
You're in a jolly mood.
Well, when you're here, I know you're not leading men into Darktown to arrest me.
Blessed art thou who exists in the sight of the Maker. Sing of the chant so that it may reach his ears.
Maker, give me strength.
Now we fight!
Your grandparents would be so proud of you. When I was a girl, the Emels were one of our most prominent families. I'm glad to have one of their line in the estate again. How can I help you?
You knew my grandparents?
I dedicated your mother into the Chantry. She was a beautiful baby. Your grandmother was a very proper lady, but she was beside herself that day. And your mother put a fist in my eye.
How long have you been Grand Cleric?
I became a lay sister here when I was only a girl. My parents died of fever, and I was taken in by the Chantry. Eventually, I took my vows. After I had served for some time, the revered mothers agreed that I should travel to Orlais. The Divine herself appointed me Grand Cleric of Kirkwall. That was near 30 years ago.
I think you should see these papers.
Sir Ulrich, where did you get these? He was murdered in the gallows not a few days ago.
He was trying to turn every mage in Kirkwall tranquil.
Sir Ulrich made a suggestion, yes. But we turned him down.
But you don't condemn the practice outright.
The right of tranquility has always been a last resort. It has saved lives, but it is not without its costs. If you'll excuse me.
are still many refugees that need...
Near rooms, the libraries.
We have no schedule.
Hawke, the new scion of the ML family. Congratulations. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Your Sir Ulrich was working on a plan to turn all mages tranquil.
I will not ask how you came by the personal effects of a man recently murdered within our own walls. It's true there has been some discussion of the idea, but as you can see, it has gone no further than that.
You expect us to believe that?
Believe what you like, mage. The harrowing has served us well enough for centuries. It will be up to mages themselves whether they push us to more stringent measures.
It sounds like you support this.
The Tranquil ritual was created as a mercy so that mages need not be killed out of hand for a threat they might pose. There is an argument to be made for applying it more widely.
Are you going to listen to this? He's no better than Sir Ulrich.
Do you think it's easy to contain a mage who truly wants to deal with demons? We have done our best. But many mages have made it clear they view the ritual as no better than death. They want no controls on them at all.
Everyone seems concerned about the Qunari. What's the Templar stance?
They are heathens. They will stop at nothing less than the eradication of the Chantry. But we can't know the immediate goals of the Qunari in Kirkwall. Should it come to open conflict, we are the largest army in the city. We will be the ones to lead its defense.
Is there anything I can help the Templars with?
Oh, you're kind to offer, but after what happened with Tirani 3 years ago, the Knight Commander has closed ranks. Our own men undergo weekly questioning, and she's eliminated all work with outsiders. It's hard to keep recruitment up enough to maintain our numbers.
I keep hearing about the Knight Commander. When do I get to meet her?
I'm afraid she's become more reclusive since you came to Kirkwall, Hawke. These last 3 years, especially, she's been very suspicious of outside influences. I almost wonder if something happened.
Of course. You are apprentice Jacob. We were once involved in an illicit relationship.
Illicit? I love you!
I am fortunate to be tranquil. So many mages are plagued by unrest.
The Knight Commander found Grace and the other Starkhaven mages. They're still in quarantine.
I can't keep delirium on the docks. Maybe dump it in the sea?
I hear the Qunari are kidnapping mages and doing peculiar things to them. Mark my words.
If you're here to see Keran, it's not worth the effort. Wilmod, Keran and I were close once, and now Wilmod's dead. Keran kidnapped, then discharged from the Order.
The Knight Captain did what he had to, but at great cost.
I've heard his family is in deep with a Tevinter moneylender near here, Sinestra the Snake. Keran's father is too proud. His children don't even know. If I were rich enough, I'd pay off the debt myself. But there is an alternative.
And I take it this alternative involves me. Go on.
Sinestra, by all accounts, is a cancer on our most downtrodden. Make her preserve me, but I believe the world would be a better place without her. If you help Keran, I vow I'll send you what coin I have. I must go.
Kirkwall may not have the best circle, but at least we're not Ferelden.
Sir Ulrich rescued me from my sins.
You're looking well. My store is much better stocked, thanks to you. If you're interested in hunting down more ingredients, I can make other creations. And of course, I'll pay you for your work.
Sure. Just let me know what you need.
Perfect. I have a list of ingredients right here. Thank you, my friend. Only one thing on the list left to find.
This place is a prison.
They got Grace and the others. Brought them back here.
Hello, Emeric. Aveline says you need my help again.
I've spent the past few years continuing my investigation into the murders of Ninette, Merrin, and the other women. I believe I finally have a suspect. A man called Gascard Dupuis.
Dupuis? That's a funny name.
It's Orlesian. I believe he is descended from nobility. When I became convinced of his guilt, I went to the city guard and demanded that they do something.
My men raided that house. There was nothing, and I've heard no end because of it. You were reprimanded, I hope?
Meredith forbade me from continuing my investigation. But she didn't say I couldn't seek outside help.
I retrieved a sack of human remains for you. Didn't you show it to the guard?
I did. They said the remains could have been gathered together by scavengers looking for bits of gold and jewelry. They said there was no way to tell if the remains even belonged to the missing women.
I'm sorry, Emeric, but that's the truth of it.
Were you the only person investigating these murders?
Yes, unfortunately. The Templar Order believes this is a matter for the City Guard. And the City Guard, well, they rejected my evidence and dismissed the murders as isolated incidents. They don't care either.
I've seen your evidence. Scattered notes, conjecture, nothing remotely usable. You can't expect us to act on your hunches alone. Look what happened when we did.
The guards who searched Gascard's place were incompetent. They didn't know what they were looking for.
Fine, if you insist.
What have you learned about Gascard Dupuis?
He's a reclusive nobleman who's rarely seen outside his estate in Hightown. He knew 2 of the murdered women and made inquiries about the others. It cannot be a coincidence.
It should be investigated at least.
Thank you. I faced nothing but ridicule. To hear someone say that is encouraging.
What do you need me to do?
I knew I could count on you. You'll need to go to Gascard Dupuis' estate after nightfall. Please figure out what Dupuis is hiding. If he's innocent, find evidence to prove me wrong. It's just that simple.
Kirkwall may not have the best circle, but it...
Why do you always win at cards?
Because I cheat, kitten. This trinket, it's elven, isn't it? From your clan. Don't bet anything you're not prepared to lose. Here, have it back. A jigger of your finest whiskey for my friend over here. The Hanged Man's finest isn't much, but it'll get you just as drunk as anything you'll find in Hightown.
And you'll wake up and find someone stolen your trousers.
That's when you know it's a party. I thought I'd have to watch myself around you, but as it turns out, you're all right.
What do you mean I'm all right?
You don't judge people. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, little things like that. If I had someone like you on board my ship when the storm hit, maybe we wouldn't have been shipwrecked.
Maybe you would have been shipwrecked sooner. I'm a terrible sailor.
Are you? I suppose I'll have to keel haul you till you shape up.
I understand you're named after a famous knight.
Everyone always brings up the name.
I've not heard of Sir Aveline. Is she very famous?
Really? They don't tell of her glorious downfall into winter?
Not to slaves.
Pardon me for saying so, but thank the Maker for that.